How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the Kellycast. If this is your first time here, I'm Dan Kelly. This is my podcast where I keep you up to date with the latest in the NFL, previews, predictions, analysis. There's something for everybody here. Other than really fantasy football, we don't cover that as much. But if you guys want it, let me know down in the comments down below. There's the Kellycast World Championship, which features 12 boys and girls all vying for that title. The results for September are up on the Facebook page. That's at the Kellycast. It's where you can find all those results and more up-to-date information than here on YouTube. Of course, I post here a couple times a week. We are looking at 4 games today, the 4 most interesting games in my opinion. And if you like their shorter form content, you can find that also here on the Kellycast YouTube channel. Instant Reacts, the 1-minute series. I pick 3 games from the NFL from the previous week and give you some quick thoughts just in case you need that Kellycast fix. Because I love to talk football. It's my everything, man. It's so good. We are going to start off today with the Browns and the Commanders, okay? Now, if you watched Instant Reacts last week, you would know my thoughts on the Commanders, on Jaden Daniels, on what they're doing there, putting up 42 points last week against the Arizona Cardinals. Everybody wants to talk about Caleb. Like, yeah, he was number 1. I get it. But, man, Jaden Daniels is playing some really good football right now. And not only is he leading the team in rushing and passing most weeks, but his completion percentage, absolutely crazy, breaking records, it seems, every week. All Washington has needed for the last 5 to 7 years is a quarterback. That team is built so well on the defense. And you got weapons at receiver. You got a decent running back room. So this is all they needed, and they're really showing out. Meanwhile, the Cleveland Browns last week fell to the Las Vegas Raiders. Gardner Minshew and the Raiders hosted them, and yeah, it just wasn't good. Deshaun goes 24-32, 176 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. I don't know if Chubb is playing this week. I don't think he is because I haven't heard anything. But I heard that his practice window was open. And once he returns, I'm probably going to be picking the Browns a lot more often. Jerry Jeudy, 6 receptions, 72 yards. Leading tackler, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Interesting to see what everybody here at the Kellycast thinks in terms of this game. Browns-Commanders, who is going to go where? Is it going to be a sweep? Is it going to be a split? It's always a fun thing to keep your eye on. I'm taking the Washington Commanders. They're the home team in this game. They've been playing really well. I might be in the minority of saying that I think this is a coin flip game. I think Cleveland is really, really good. Even though they didn't play well last week, I think they can. They're one of those teams that you never know what they're going to do until that week happens. And I'm confident that this is going to be a close game, but only time will tell. AFC North contest here between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. We all know what the Ravens did last week. You can see by the set, I'm a Bills fan. Kellycast is mostly Bills fans. And the Ravens punched us in the face. Punched us in the mouth real good. If you missed my Bills video, Ravens route Bills, that is on the channel. The Cincinnati Bengals got their first win last week, 34-24 over the Carolina Panthers. Jamar Chase scores. The Bengals with a really interesting running back room. Chase Brown scores twice, goes for 80 yards. Zach Moss catches a touchdown in the air. Bengals hosting here. Normally, like, this is one of my favorite rivalries in the NFL. Goes back to when I started watching football in around 2013. And I would usually pick the home team. Usually. But the Bengals, though they beat the Panthers last week, congratulations, your first win of the season, right? I still think that the Ravens are the better team, and the Ravens really hit their stride against Buffalo, and I think it's going to continue going into this game. I'm going to select the Baltimore Ravens. Going to be interesting to see what the rest of the Kellycast does. I know I saw some people pick the Bengals, so we're going to have to see how it fares for them, if they're going to be in first, second, third, or with the garbage can in last place. Samantha got her garbage can last week, the pink one, of course, and when I showed Melissa the video, she said she wanted a different color garbage can as well. So if you're in last and you want a different color garbage can, the only thing you have to do is contact me. You can find me here on YouTube at the Kellycast or on Facebook, of course, also at the Kellycast. Let's move on to our next game here. Green Bay Packers, Los Angeles Rams. I'm a big Rams supporter. I want to say Rams fan. The only team I'm a fan of is the Buffalo Bills. But the Rams, I thought they were going to be really good this year. Another year of Puka. You got Cooper, Stafford, Kyron Williams there at running back. Yeah, I understand the defense took a hit, but I thought they were still going to be able to outscore opponents and show that they were one of the top teams in the NFC, really. But some uncharacteristic losses this year, especially last week, that coming to the Chicago Bears. Take a look at the numbers for the Rams in that game. Of course, 24-18 was the final. Stafford played really well, 20-29. No touchdowns and interception. Kyron Williams almost goes for 100, but giving up 24 to Chicago after they've kind of struggled to hit their stride seems a bit surprising. Meanwhile, the Green Bay Packers last week, talked about them again in my series Instant Reacts, the YouTube Shorts series here, and I was impressed with their resilience overall. And if you asked me where I was going earlier on in the season, I think I would have told you I'm taking the LA Rams because I think they're the better team. But right now, Jordan Love's back another week. Hopefully he's a little bit more healthy. We saw what they did in the receiving game last week with Jaden Reed going over 100. Tucker Kraft, the tight end, gets in the end zone. You see him in the graphic up there. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers. Again, curious to see how many people are going to go with the Green Bay Packers. I don't know what the line is in Vegas. I would expect this to be a close game. I think both these teams are very good, and it's a shame, this matchup isn't happening later on in the season when both teams are kind of firing on all cylinders. But this could be a playoff preview. I'm taking the Green Bay Packers. Let's see what the rest of the Kelly Cast is doing here. Aaron said he was surprised to be in first, but he's been one of the most consistent guys here in the league, along with Melissa. Me and Mike seem to not be able to climb the leaderboard. I think the best we've done this year is third, so we need to start doing a little bit better. Kevin has been hitting his stride the last couple of weeks, and Nick kind of a question mark where he ends up. Ken finally made it to first, so congratulations to you. Let's move on to the next team here. The final game we're going to talk about today, the Kansas City Chiefs and the New Orleans Saints. One of the only undefeated teams left in the league, that being the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Saints last week, just unimpressive overall. I thought, hey, we saw them drop that one to the Eagles, and I get it, but I thought they were going to bounce back against the Falcons. Didn't end up happening. It was a close game, 26-24, the final. Derek Carr, 28-36, 239. And an interception. Kamara goes 19 carries, 77 yards, and a touchdown. Not a good average for him. And Olave, 8 receptions, 87 yards. The Chiefs, during the regular season, the Kansas City Chiefs are a beatable team. No matter if you're in the division, outside the division, one of the worst teams in the NFL, I don't care. And last week, they played down to the Chargers level. And, they won the game. So then that's all that matters. Kansas City, I think, is going to stay on top here. Prime time. This is Monday Night Football. Taking the Chiefs. I think the only reason people are going to pick the Saints is because they don't want the Chiefs to win. And I don't want the Chiefs to win either, but I need to start moving up this leaderboard. I definitely need to start moving up. A couple quick things around the league I wanted to touch on, starting with Von Miller of the Bills. The Bills pass rusher suspended 4 games for violating the NFL's conduct policy. A lot of people are asking what this is about. Is it something new? Is it something in the past? Based on what I've heard, the reports I've seen, the reports I've read, I believe this comes off the domestic violence issue we saw last September. Usually the NFL does an investigation. It takes around a year. This would be around a year for that. Haven't heard that he took anything, any illegal substance or anything like that. Of course, that can come out, and I'm recording this on Thursday, October 3rd. So we'll have to see if that's true or not. Davante Adams of the Las Vegas Raiders has requested a trade. Whether or not they grant him one will be interesting. I believe the report said they're looking for a second-round pick and more. I think a lot of teams would be willing to give up a second-round pick and more for one of the top 5 receivers in the league. I don't think Buffalo is going to be on that list. Could it be Kansas City? Could it be the New York Jets? Could it be the Washington Commanders? I don't know who has the most cap room right now, but that would need to be a big factor because Davante's due over $40 million per year. Let me know what team has surprised you the most during the first month of the season. Who do you think is going to bounce back? And your thoughts so far on the Kellycast this year. If there's anything you want me to talk about that I haven't touched on, if there's any teams that you want me to focus on. Dan Kelly from the Kellycast, I'm signing off. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, take it easy.